Hi, everybody. Hey, Kathy here from Laying Groundwork, and I am here with another episode of our Small Bites series. So, today we are going to talk about the emotion of fear. So, fear, as with all things, has some real practical aspects to it, as well as some impractical aspects. So, what do we mean by that? Well, it might be that practical fear, if we could look at it in that way, is maybe the fear that keeps us from stepping out off the curb in front of a bus. That would be really, really useful, of course. Impractical fear might be the fear that keeps us from stepping into some really new and exciting aspect or chapter of our lives. So again, always balancing that there is the impractical use not useful versus the practical useful aspects of our experiences. So that left me, of course, kind of in this space of saying, okay, so it seems to be up to us to some degree to figure out how do we separate out our experience of fear and figure out whether it's helpful, the helpful kind or the not helpful kind. So during this time that I was kind of really wrestling with this question, I was in a session with a coach that I work with who made the comment that our fears are generally fears of emotions. Of course, my first initial response was, "What are you talking about?" Like, huh? It was like this giant question mark. And at the same time, I also had to recognize that there was some level of resonance with that. There was some truth to that. So I began to really dig deeper into my experience of the things that I'm afraid of. So what I discovered in this journey that essentially when I was not moving forward, for example, let's say in my business, that it was a fear of being embarrassed, being ashamed, being something, that so if I put together, for example, a video, put it out into the world, somebody might not like it, I might be criticized for it. And in my particular case, I realized that this was just simply taking me back to the message that I received as a little kid of you'll never get it right. You don't do it well enough, you'll never get it right. And of course, I've spent decades avoiding feeling that way about my experiences and about my efforts. So, in my experience, this kind of fear feels really, really different than the practical kind, which it might be better for me to stay on a well-lit sidewalk where there are people around, as opposed to taking a shortcut down a dark alley at night, that kind of thing. So, I would love to have you check this out on the things that you feel like are stopping you from moving forward toward your goals, and let me know how it goes. See if you find this as useful as I did in helping to sort some of that out. So I'd love to see you back here on our next episode of the Small Bite series. And if you would do me the giant favor of liking and subscribing to this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much.